You might have heard that you'll be getting a stimulus check from the government. A lot of people have had questions as to what does that mean, how much will I get, and when will I be getting it. This presentation will go through just those points and answer a few key questions for you. First question is how much will I get? That's what everybody wants to know exactly. How much will I get? Well, the standard is if you're an individual, you'll get $1,200. If you're married, $2,400. And if you're head of household, $1,200. Quick definition of head of household. Head of household simply means a unmarried person with a dependent child. Your adjusted gross income limit has to be under $75,000 if you are single, $150,000 if you are married, and $112,500 if you are head of household. Now, if your income is above $75,150 or $112,500, your payments will be reduced $5 for every $100 above the AGI limit. The AGI is found on line 7 of your 2018 tax return. It's on line 8A of your 2019 tax return. Is there anything extra for children? If you have dependent children under age 17, that's an additional $500 per child. Okay. I've not yet filed my 2019 tax return. Does that matter? No. If you filed a 2018 tax return, the IRS will use 2018 as the year of record. Note, though, 2019 is usually due, your tax returns are usually due on April 15th. This year and this year only, tax return deadline has been extended to July 15th without any interest or penalties. When will I get my check? The first rounds of checks are due to come out mid-April, which is this week. I didn't earn enough to file a tax return. Will I still get a stimulus check? Yes, you will. If you have any information on file with the IRS, in other words, if you've received a W-2 or if you receive Social Security income, the IRS does already have that income. Therefore, you will qualify for a check. You can also go to www.irs.gov and enter information for direct deposit. What if the IRS doesn't have my bank account? I think we just went through that. When will I get my checks? The first rounds of checks are scheduled to go out this week, mid-April. Is the stimulus check merely an advance on next year's income? No, the stimulus check is not related to next year's income tax. It will not have to be paid back. Is the stimulus check taxable income? In other words, will I have to report it as income next year on my tax return? No, you will not. Okay. My child is over age 17, but they're still my dependent. Will they get their own stimulus check? No. If a child is a dependent of yours, they do not qualify for a stimulus check of their own. I claim my parent, my brother or my sister as a dependent. Will I qualify for the $500 stimulus check? No, you will not. It has to be for a dependent child under age 17. If I had a child in 2020, will I get a $500 check for that child? Most likely not, because the IRS has no way of knowing that you had that child in 2020. However, when you file your 2020 tax return in 2021, you will report that you had a child in 2020 and you will get an extra $500 then. I owe the IRS back taxes. Will they take it from the stimulus check? No, they will not. What if I owe back child support? If the IRS knows you owe back child support, yes, they will take the stimulus check and they will apply it to the person you owe the child support to. My income is under the limit in 2019, but will be over the limit in 2020. Will I have to give the check back? At this point, there is no what they call clawback feature, which makes you give back the money if you're over the limit in 2020. If you did not qualify and then after filing your return turns out you do qualify, then you will be able to get the stimulus check at that point. How will the IRS know where to send your check? The IRS always uses the last filed document as the address of record. So the last thing you filed with the IRS, whether that's a tax return or it's some kind of payroll tax form, that is the IRS address on file. That's the address they'll use. They are setting up a portal right now that you can go into merely to change your address information and add direct deposit information. As of today, April 14th, the portal is being worked on, but it is not yet available. They're claiming that the availability should be within the next week. Can I call the IRS with any questions? If you tried to call the IRS, you've probably not been able to get through. Plus, they are not answering any questions at this time related to any kind of stimulus issues.